Get the steps in.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what she's doing?
Yeah. Welcome back to episode 237 of the Tall Boy Radio podcast. And as we always say, who knows where it goes when the black stuff flows? Yes, tonight we're going to be taste testing some of the finest stouts out there, or so we're told. So before we get to that, let's say hello to the two fine fellas to my left. Gaza?
Yeah, evening all, evening the world. Looking forward to this. An episode that involves drinking alcohol. What can possibly go wrong? And who knows, there might just be a little surprise or two towards the end of the podcast, but mum's the word for now.
Oh, there'll definitely be a surprise. Dave, how are you doing?
I'm all right, but I don't know about the surprise. So,
Literally told you about 2 minutes ago.
Literally about a minute ago, 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
oh, I forgot. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. This is actually my second live stream of the day. I did one this morning.
Really?
Yeah, for work. LinkedIn Live, first time I've ever done it.
Oh, right, fair play. Or maybe that's something we look at exploring in the future, going live on LinkedIn, now that we can't go live on Twitter anymore. Thank you, Elon Musk. Indeed. Yeah, so what we have to do, of course, first is say hello, country number 66, Belgium.
Nice.
Can you believe Belgium weren't listening in already?
No, what have we been up to? Pull your fingers out. It's not like there's an Olympics going on or anything, is there? Come on, sort yourself out.
Yeah, exactly. This is better than the Olympics. We've not even got it on the telly tonight. We did not like we did with the football the last time we were in here when Steve joined us.
What three events we did? I don't know. Table tennis is in the Olympics, isn't it?
Table tennis is in the Olympics.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Oh, we could have done that.
I played table tennis. Not quite sure I got to that standard, but
What would you do, mate?
Observe.
be the marker.
Yeah, well, no, I.
We got a counter space for that.
Yeah, exactly. I never used to do it. It's one of the conditions I used to say when I played for Big Grey in the darts league. I'll play, but I'm not marking.
I thought you were going to say the condition was you play, but not at the Olympics.
Well, that was a prerequisite of my ability. That one was. So, what we're going to do tonight, guys, we're going to blind taste test. That is, as our barmaid paces the garden furiously. We are going to taste test. I don't think she heard that. I got away with it. We're going to taste test these four fine beers in front of us. The catch is obviously it's a blind taste test, so we don't actually know which one's which. We're going to tell you which one's the best and see if we can identify which one is which as we go along the way, and maybe share some facts and stories as we go. So this is the first beer. It's been poured for us. Any ideas then? Any ideas from the smell what this one's going to be? No. Oh dear, we're in trouble.
Have you tasted it?
I've just had a quick taste, yeah. Now, I've tasted 3 of these beers, okay? And the fourth I have not tasted. The one, can you guess which one I haven't tasted?
I'm making an assumption you haven't tasted the Guinness Zero.
Yeah, I haven't tasted the Guinness Zero, so I don't know what that one tastes like. Dave, you drink it all the time, so you should be able to recognize it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't drank any of the other 3. The only one I have drank is the Guinness Zero, and I'm pretty certain that's not it.
You think that's not Guinness Zero?
No chance.
No chance?
No.
Oh, gee whiz, we're in trouble because I thought this was Guinness Zero.
I actually thought that was Zero. No, wait a minute.
This competition, by the way. What's the prize?
The prize is you don't get shot with a salt gun.
So I've tasted all of the 4, and obviously you can see on the camera which ones we've got. I don't think it's the Brew Dog. No. If I'm honest, I don't think it's that, and I don't think it's sort of Mr. McGregor's either. So I would have said it was either Guinness or the Zero.
Yeah.
But
all I can say is I don't think that's the Guinness Zero, and I couldn't comment. I mean, it's very similar to Guinness Zero, so if I've got to say anything at this point, I would have to go.
So Dave's saying Guinness, right?
But only because
I'm going to say, I'm going to say that is standard Guinness. I think I'm probably going to agree I think.
Yeah, I might change my mind. I'll taste the others.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. That's true. You know, we are like women, allowed to change our mind.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if I say if you had a couple and you went, oh, actually, no, that's definitely the zero, or that's definitely the Guinness sort of thing. But I think on first taste, I was going to say zero, but I think there's definitely a hint of something in there. So I'm going to say normal Guinness.
Yeah, that's true. Gazza, when you drank zero before, didn't you say it was noticeably different? It was like I think you said like thinner. I think was the word you used.
Yeah. Which remember my first mouthful, I thought, oh, that might be zero. But the more I do drink it, I do think there's a little bit in there. You see, I haven't drank zero for a couple of weeks or so, or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. What do you haven't tasted zero?
I've not tasted zero.
You have drunk Guinness. Are we ruling out the other two? Are we ruling out the Brew Dog, and we're ruling out the McGregor? I'm ruling those two out.
I'm going to rule those two out as well, just because both of those tend to have, for me, I think there's more of a hint of coffee and chocolate to both of those beers.
Yeah. Definitely the Brew Dog. I find there's definitely more chocolatey in it. Whether that's right or not, but that's just what I feel. So I'm definitely ruling out those two. I'm leaning more towards the normal Guinness.
Yeah, indeed. And good evening, Lee from the Boo Brothers. Thank you for joining us. We will raise a glass of what may or may not be non-alcoholic beer to you. Just out of interest then. So have either of you guys heard of splitting the G?
No.
So splitting the G is a Guinness thing, okay? So obviously we don't have a genuine Guinness glass here tonight, unfortunately. So you know where it says Guinness on it?
Yep.
So the idea is that first mouthful, you take a few gulps of it, you put it down. When it sort of sets, that line there, at the top of the black and the white bit, should be resting perfectly on the top of the bit where the G crosses over.
Right.
You've never heard of that expression?
No,
They take it very seriously on a group on Facebook called the Guinness Community.
So I know that I say traditionally you wouldn't just have a mouthful. It literally is. It's like a 2 or 3 swig.
Yeah.
It's not a one of them. It's a proper drink, if that makes sense. It's a proper big glug sort of thing. So, but then what would that be? About 3/4 of the way up, maybe 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's a decent.
It's
a decent drink.
You're necking half a pint, aren't you?
And is there a reason for that?
No.
Just some random bloke just thought that it was. So well, fair enough.
Yeah, it's not one of these things where you've got to take like an inch and 1/8 off the top to get the right aroma sort of going on, like that.
Interesting. I don't know about aroma. Is there I mean, obviously the Facebook group will probably let us know, or you might know this. But what is actually meant to be main drink and then head? What is the percentage, or what is do you know that or not? Or
I would say about.
Oh, sorry, I thought I was teeing you up for some stat then, or something. You might have done some research on.
I have done some research,
right.
I can't possibly research all your potential questions.
Those listed on audio, I did say about that much. So,
I was about to explain, but there was interjected about that much, which I would say is about the width of my little finger.
Your little finger.
A little finger. I don't have a particularly special little finger. I'm not going to get into measuring little fingers right now.
A Guinness measuring finger.
Yeah, the little fingers are little fingers. They're all roughly the same size. That's why they call little fingers.
There's a whole massive Facebook group about Guinness and how much Guinness you drink. I think the width of your little finger is quite important.
Go down there. If there's a Facebook group about little fingers.
Have you? Well, I'm sure there is. But
probably, yeah.
Speaking of little things and little fingers, this group actually has achieved notoriety and made the press recently. I don't know if you, guys, I'd be amazed if you haven't seen this. You're a pervert. So it basically it got to the point where blokes were sharing pictures of their better halves, either scantily clad or naked, with a pint of Guinness in the way.
Absolutely not seen
that. No, you're not seeing that. No, honestly, I joined this group.
Was this part of your research?
No. Fully well. It was. I joined this group years ago, okay, when we did this as a beer podcast, that brief period of no listenings. But yeah, so when I joined that group then, just because I'm doing research for beer, okay, and it was just a regular group, people telling you where you can get a good pint. If I'm in this area, you can get a good pint of Guinness here. This is the best place for a pint of Guinness in Scarborough or wherever. But all of a sudden, just had random blokes posting pictures, and it's honestly, it's got carried away. It's got ridiculous to the point where there's actually also a Twitter page as well called Guinness Uncensored with the one of the ends missing. There's uncensored. And that is, as you would imagine, the uncensored pictures. Some of them not too pleasant. I don't mind telling you. I apologise if you've sent one in and your spouse and that's who I'm talking about.
It's not just the Guinness with no woman.
No.
It's the other way around.
It's the other way around. The Guinness is there, but it's less, it's not used to obscure quite as much, it's fair to say.
No, genuinely have never heard of that at all.
No, honestly, it's bizarre. It is utterly. I don't understand how it's happened or how it's got so out of hand. So, Lee from Brew Brothers asks, have you tried the Guinness Nitro Surge? Are you familiar with that product?
No. It is, I don't know, is that something to do with the drink itself? Is it the glass is poured into? Or
No, it's a specific can that you can buy, and it's a little widget that you attach to the top that needs to be battery powered. When you pour it, it's supposed to pour perfect pint of Guinness.
Right, okay.
So the cans are about £8.50 for 4, and the Nitro Surge itself is about 30 quid.
Oh, right.
Hence why we're not taste testing it tonight.
Yes,
I thought
right,
I
okay.
ain't spending 40 quid on that crap. Just for, especially when I can't even tell whether this has got alcohol in it or not. What's it?
No. And for those of you that are watching, those that are listening, because I don't drink, I'm torn with I'm only going to drink the entire pint if I'm certain it's the Guinness Zero. I'm certain that's not, so I'll hand that over you two to.
Are you sure? I think it is, dude.
I'm not sure.
I'd rather get it wrong and not drink any than drink a pint.
Absolutely. Drink responsibly, folks.
Yeah.
Well, me and Adam in about an hour's time.
I think that's Guinness Zero. And I'm basing that on the fact that I feel like there's something missing from that beer.
That's not zero.
You don't think? You think that's got
No,
alcohol?
I think that's normal Guinness.
It's got an aftertaste that's quite strong, and Guinness Zero doesn't.
Okay. I mean, if it is Guinness Zero, it's good.
Yeah, it's not.
No, that's not zero. I think that's normal Guinness.
It keeps his head nicely.
You haven't saw this, dude.
Eh?
You haven't saw this?
No, get it having that, dude.
I'm thinking 2 to your 1.
I'm working tomorrow. You're off for 6 weeks.
I play golf at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So Guinness. So if we're going to work, what are we going to work on the assumption of? So you two think it's Guinness. So share some facts about Guinness.
I'm smiling.
Yeah.
River Liffey.
Yes. So
St.
James's Gate Brewery. The lease on which, you know what year that runs out on?
2128.
10,759. That's where it runs out. The year 10,759.
That because it was given for 10,000 years.
9,999 years that it was given for. Yeah, so that's how long the lease runs out. So yeah, have you visited St. James's?
Is that the lease for effectively the land, or is there like a covenant on it that says it has to be a brewery on that land? Do you know?
I don't. I know that they have that to use as a brewery until then. That's how long they have the lease for.
Okay.
So yeah, it was 9,999 years, and obviously they've been making it since 1760. Actually, it was first made stouts or London stouts or London porters, as they're famously called. So it's not even an Irish thing. But when you think, because Guinness is such a worldwide brand and is associated with Ireland, you think of it as being an Irish beer, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's almost synonymous, isn't it? And one of the things that you talk about when you go to Ireland is, you've got to have a pint of Guinness, and I'm sure there's loads of other places that are fantastic. But you talk about Temple Bar, so you obviously you've got to go to the brewery, you've got to have a pint in there. But then loads of people talk about Temple Bar, and that's the place. And literally, if you haven't been, the long bar, and literally one guy's job is literally just pour pint after pint after pint after pint after pint, and that's all they do. And they don't even wait for people to order; they literally just pour pints of Guinness and almost like slide them down the bar. And it's like, we need 4 there, we need 5 there, we need 2 there, and literally just pours it all the time. And it's something that I haven't been, and I want to go. I've been told to avoid it, just because of it's a little bit of a tourist trap, and there's better places that you can go and get it, and this, that, and the other. But I think it's one of those places. I think if you're going to go to Ireland, you have to have at least one pint in Temple Bar. That's.
Have you done that?
I haven't been to. If you're listening about 15 seconds ago, I said I hadn't been yet. So it was something that I am. I desperately do want to do, and I do want to go and visit brewery.
I've visited Temple Bar and I've visited the brewery. And I have to say, it is the best part of Guinness I've ever had in the brewery, as you would expect.
Yeah,
it's decent. It's very. I think the thing that disappointed me most about it is it's very heavy on marketing. It's more about the marketing of Guinness, which again in itself is probably very very famous. It's notorious for some of its marketing campaigns. Yeah. We'll probably, when we share these episodes out on Instagram, share some of the music that's been used on it as well.
Did you find then that, because lots of people I know that drink Guinness, and they're not, I'm not saying Guinness connoisseurs, but they go various places, they drink Guinness. They do say it's a different pint in Ireland. You have, if you like Guinness in like England or whatever, or you go to Scotland, have a pint, or Wales or wherever, it's different when you go to Ireland. And did you find that? Did you?
Yes.
It is significantly better.
I felt it was a better beer, but you're in Ireland, you're expecting something. So I don't know if it's psychological more than
you're
factual.
Expecting to taste better, because everybody says so. Just while we're talking about the Guinness factory in Ireland, it does lead me on. Sorry, Sid, if you're listening to a story that my younger brother back in the day, who we actually convinced that the River Liffey was a river of Guinness, and you could go there and just like dip your pint glass in and various other things. So Sid, if you're listening, I apologise, but at the time it's quite humorous.
Yeah, he doesn't apologise. He's not his fault.
No, I don't at all. No.
So just out of interest, then, I know animal rights is very important to you four guys. Which of these beers sat in front of us then? The Guinness Zero, Forged, and Black Art. Which one of those is vegan, do you think?
Oh, crikey, vegan.
I think it's McGregor's.
Yeah.
And I think it's possibly Brewdog, because they are quite. It's got to be. You see, logic would dictate that if Guinness are making their normal drink and that's vegan friendly, that they would make their 0% the same. I don't know. I suspect Conor McGregor's probably is.
I mean, which one? Everyone you said, you would have been correct. They're all vegan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I got it right.
Yeah. Technically, yeah. But no, they are all vegan beers. And obviously the principle of that is what's used in the fining process is a product called icing something or other. I can't remember. Icing glass, I think it's called. And that is a product of fish. It's like the fish guts,
right,
which is used to sort of thicken up the beer, I think, or smooth out the beer. I can't remember which.
Right.
But yeah, so that's not used in any of those products, which I think is quite interesting.
Yeah. It gives you vegans a couple more options. In terms of that, then, would that just be in the stout process, or would that go in terms of if you had like ales or various other beers? So is that part of your traditional brewing process, irrespective of whether it's a stout or not, or is it just particularly for the stout?
No. It's used in a lot of beers, is icing glass. In fact, Plum Porter, which is one of my favourite beers, is not vegan friendly. They use the product. Oh, here we go, some more beer.
Right.
Oh, this is interesting. That's Dave's. Right. So next beer. That smells different. It smells different to the last one.
It smells of washing up liquid.
That's
zero. Yeah. That is zero.
Yeah, that's 0. 100%.
Yeah, that's rank. That's 0.
That's definitely.
I'm changing my first answer then, because I'm now convinced that is 0.
This one is definitely 0. You know what? It's not bad. The 0% beers go. It's not bad, and you've just said it's rank, but you probably haven't tasted it before. I think it's one of those that.
Fucking hell. That's bad.
It's not that bad.
I hope I'm wrong now. no, I better be
sorry,
right.
Conor.
Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, on the basis that is, and the other one was there for Guinness, which it might not have been, I think they're quite similar until the end, where this doesn't have anything, and the first one had some sort of flavour.
Where's the end of that other one? Oh, no. Barmaid threw it away.
Yeah. But yeah, but I'm
She
not.
did name me that. That's good.
Yeah, the barmaid. Let's not take the barmaid to task. She can be quite an evil taskmaster. I don't mind telling you.
No, I wouldn't quite put my mortgage on it, but that's zero.
But yeah, it's missing. It's missing something.
It's strange because
piss water.
You're not a fan?
No,
it's
I'm not a fan of that.
I mean, you mentioned earlier that I sort of said previously it lacks a bit of depth and a bit of body, and it does. It's not bad, but as you said, it at the end of the drink, there's just nothing quite there, is there?
Yeah.
Which is odd because if all they're doing is taking alcohol out, I mean, I don't know nothing about the brewing process, but you would think if they're just taking the alcohol out, why should that affect that kind of flavour so much?
Well, I mean, I guess the alcohol is going to contribute to the flavour of the beer. But you're right, that is how they do it. They use a cold filtration process to remove the alcohol from the beer. So they make the Guinness at the 4.2% that I think it is. And then they take the alcohol out. But they do tweak the flavours a little bit. So the brewers tell the brewers tell us, I apologise for that, listeners. The brewers tell us that it's this vile beer.
Do you think then, being cynical, that they, you know, cars, where
I've heard of them.
They make, cheap cars are designed to be not very nice.
Yeah.
Because they could design them to be nice.
Mm.
It's not a lot of difference, but they design
It's functional,
so that they can sell at a cheap price. If you made it look nice, then they can't make it cheap.
Yeah.
Because of the expensive ones. Do you think the same with Guinness like this, that they've deliberately taken that depth of flavour off it so that people don't think, you know what, might as well drink that?
That's interesting.
It's interesting, and I don't know because,
Yeah.
again, I don't know the brewing process in enough depth, but maybe by taking the alcohol out, if that then detracts from the flavour, would they then add something else that gives it that flavour? And I know that sounds stupid, but like a non-alcoholic version. So you could, I mean, obviously when you're talking about brewery and distilling and all that, you can add flavours at various points of the process. So if you take the alcohol out and it removes part of that rich texture, feel, taste, whatever, would you not put something back in that's not alcoholic that then gives it that? Does that make sense? And I wonder whether or not, as you said, Dave, whether or not they've possibly just thought it's the zero option. And I mean, back in the day, look, I mean, we're all 50s here, aren't we? So back in the day, you had like Beck's Blue or whatever it was that was rank, and that was pretty much the only alcoholic thing that you had. We had Caliber back in there. I mean, Jesus, that was even worse. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Really? God, it was god awful. But what I think breweries are now cottoning onto, and the 0% alcohol market is definitely getting bigger.
Yeah.
There's definitely more options. Most breweries, if they don't provide one, they will provide a couple of different varieties. I know Brewdog provide a couple of different
quite a few
alcoholic varieties, but most breweries will now do that. So is it a case that it's almost just like they make it a zero and it'll do, or are they making it zero to try to make it exactly the same as the original? And I don't know the answer to that.
No,
they're making it to not taste as nice, because if they tasted identical, they're going to sell a lot less beer. Because even if they're the same price in a pub, if you're drinking alcohol, you will buy more beer than if you're not. And
so
if everyone switched over, then they'd sell less beer.
So you're saying that if it tasted absolutely identical, people effectively would only drink the Guinness, I suppose, to get drunk, as opposed to because they like the taste of it, and it's just a byproduct of you liking the taste that you get absolutely shit-faced. But if you could have the same type of drink that tastes exactly the same with zero alcohol, what you're saying, pretty much everybody will say, well, I'll just have that. It tastes exactly the same. I can still drive home, blah, blah, blah. And it's only those hardcore people saying, I'm going to get pissed tonight or whatever, that would drink the alcoholic version. So you might have something in that.
A lot less calories as well. There's 74 calories.
There are a lot less calories. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, the Guinness itself is not a particularly calorific drink. Actually, so here's a point then. Here's a question. How many pints of Guinness do you need to drink on top of your regular diet in a day to add 1 gram of fat to your body?
probably hardly any fat at all in it.
No. All right. Put to gain
Around 8.
more.
18.
Close, 17. 17 pints, yeah. 17 pints you'd have to drink to gain a gram of fat. So, yeah, that's on top of your regular consumption of all the stuff.
And I know that there's a massive misconception, whatever it may be, that Guinness is like loads of calories in it, because I think it looks like a heavy drink and everyone's like, it feels heavy as a meal in itself and all that. I think there's a perception that it's full of calories, and actually a lot of like your lagers are way more calories in Guinness.
Yeah. There's also a perception that there's a lot of iron in Guinness as well. It's actually, there is more than regular beer, but there's not an awful lot of iron. No, it's just very insignificant amount. And I take it back. So I used to work for the Co-op many years ago in retail. My first.
We're making an assumption that's the zero. I don't mind it, but if Dave's not drinking the others, you can drink the zero.
Yeah, come on, bring back Steve so we can stop the interruptions. So my first week in retail, okay. I had a guy come in and had a pop at me saying that the Guinness we were selling was substandard because it didn't have much iron in it. I was like, well, how do you know that? He says, well, my shit's not black. So, okay, mate, I'll take your word for it. He goes, no, don't take my word for it. And he brought a shit in a Tupperware box. Yeah, no word of a lie. It's like, oh, bloody hell. This is retail management. This is what it's like for the next I don't know how many years.
The following day, you put your transfer to go somewhere else.
Yeah, it's like, wow. Yeah, that's Congleton for you, folks.
And then the next time he came and he opened the shop, like, you willing to go to the doctor?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no. Thankfully, he didn't open it. I ushered him out of the shop before he got it open. But bloody hellfire, yeah. So yeah, two perceptions there about Guinness. However, you know, there was a slogan: Guinness is good for you. Is it?
Well, it can't be. Can it?
Well, the alcohol-free one or the alcohol one?
The original.
Well, it can't be alcohol.
No, you're quite right. However, it does have a lot of antioxidants in it. You know, there's a beer. It has a lot, so it's better for you than the likes of lager and stuff like that. So it's not strictly untrue.
So is it a little bit like you sort of say, oh, you know, a glass of red wine, it's good for your thins of blood and all that. Yeah, it's like, well, a pint of Guinness, is it good for you? Well, no, it isn't. But I suppose relative to other drinks that you could have, you're not a fan of that.
That is vile.
Really?
Are you absolutely convinced that's a zero?
100%.
Having never tasted zero before?
Having never tasted zero before, I'm questioning now the first one. I don't believe the first one was Guinness.
Do you not?
No.
Until I drink the other two, I'm not going to be able to confirm that.
No, I don't think.
I just didn't think it was the McGregor's. I didn't.
McGregor's is very close to Guinness. I'm leaning towards the first one being forged.
Oh yeah. See, I would have thought it. Well, as I say, I said it was Guinness, and then obviously that one is the zero, because it definitely wasn't the Brew Dog. I mean, I haven't drank a lot of the Brew Dog one, but from memory, it wasn't that. No. So I haven't drank a lot of the Forge. You've probably done a bit more.
No, I've only. This is only the third 4-pack of it that I bought, and I gave the other one. I gave one of the others to Andy.
Right.
So I've not drank a lot of it either, to be honest.
I've probably had I've probably had like a couple of cans, maybe.
The Spewy, I have had more. This is where I get in trouble because I've got a record saying I actually think the Black Art was the best of the 4.
Right. Okay.
Definitely better than that. Fucking travesty.
Look.
that insult to beer.
No, that's definitely zero. So I'm pretty confident we've got at least one out of 4.
I'm confident. I'm confident that is zero.
Yeah, I'm confident that's zero as well. Yeah.
To be honest, I'm ready for another one.
Yeah, crack it open. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to keep that in front of you?
I'll keep this one.
Yeah, Kim's gonna have to sort us out with another beer glass.
Yeah.
Just use a smaller one.
Given
I'm not going to drink it all.
Talk how much she sells.
What are you going to keep that in there, and then you're going to drink just the zero one then? Because you can just pop that now, because we're absolutely confident that's zero. Yeah, that was.
And in bar, please be responsible if it's not the zero. Driving, tell me.
No, I'm pretty confident without getting a nod from our evil assistant. That's definitely the zero, dude. I think pretty safe there.
Indeed. So the other thing that obviously these are all vegan. The other things that all these have in them is a widget.
Yep.
Do you know? And they're also infused with nitrogen as well, which helps to give it that creamy flavor. Eh? No, but it'll be
It's
fine for Dave.
Don't pour a bit anyway.
It's fine. Dave's not going to drink the whole pint, so we'll just
Yeah.
So the widget then.
The widget, yeah. So do you know what it basically? Do you know what it is effectively?
Doesn't he just oxidize it to give it the effervescence bit?
Yeah, effectively, all it is a ping pong ball with a hole in it.
Is that what it is?
It's not an actual ping pong ball,
Right.
but it's like a ping pong ball with a hole in it, yeah, which is bizarre. So that won an award, okay, a fairly prestigious award as well, Queen's Award for Technology in 1991. Do you know what it was up against? One of the things it was up against?
1991. God, that's
The iPhone.
No, 1991.
I don't know.
Yeah, but you did. But you didn't have. Did we have phones in that?
Well, that's why I don't know.
I don't think so.
what was it, 15?
18, yeah. Oh, I don't.
It's not 83, 93.
No.
So been 18. Well, I don't know. Did we have mobile phones back then?
Already had computers.
No, it wasn't computers, but you're close.
Earphones.
No, the internet.
Oh, okay.
So the
Yeah,
Queen's.
he'll never catch on.
Yeah, the Queen's Award for Technology recognise a ping pong ball with a hole in it that helps beer pour better as being better than the internet.
Can you explain the science behind it?
No?
I
Can you
think
explain the science behind the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to go down that route? 'Cause
No.
we probably could for a while.
No, let's not.
So I'm assuming that and you release the pressure, which then allows the oxidization or whatever the effervescence bit, and because you've got something in there, it means that it buzzes up through it. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know.
Just
Fuzzies up.
buzz
Yeah.
it up, yeah.
Close enough.
Fuzz it up.
Close enough. Yeah, so what percentage? What percentage of beer sold in Ireland then is Guinness?
Quick question. 22.
That's pretty close, actually, dude. You're gonna go higher or lower?
20.
Should have gone higher. 25% of all beer sold in Ireland is Guinness. Now that's a pretty strong market hold, isn't it?
When you think like what's out there, that actually is quite incredible.
Yeah. So how does that compare to the rest of the UK? Do you think
I suspect it's probably higher than the rest of the UK.
it is higher than the rest of the UK? But so
Guinness
in other words,
is
what percentage of all beer sold in
One.
the UK?
Seven.
11. So Guinness is
11%.
11% of all beer sold in the UK is Guinness.
All beer
All beer?
across effectively all markets.
Yeah. So
Pub trade and cans and everything.
yeah. So when
One
you
in 10 beers again.
yeah, so 1 in every 10 pints sold is Guinness. It's phenomenal.
Bobbins.
I
Yeah.
don't believe it.
Look, Dave, I use the internet.
It didn't even win an award. For God's sake.
No,
How
yeah,
trustworthy can it be?
fair point. Yeah, it's not as good as a ping pong ball with a hole in it. But no, yeah, that is allegedly the truth. Yeah, allegedly the truth. That's not a phrase that should be used, is it? Oh, hang on. Here we go. Right.
Head on that one.
There is some head on that one. Designated quizzes. We're using your glass.
Thank you very much.
Right.
I mean, that alone tells me it's not Guinness Zero, because the fact that all three are like that suggests it's a product of the product and not the pourer.
Yeah, she's left the room. You can say what you
Yeah,
like.
well, the first ones were all okay. The first six were fine. This is definitely different. Oh, it smells a lot different as well.
It's a lot nicer.
Something like that.
That's the brew dog.
Think.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You're not getting chocolate from that.
I am getting chocolate from that.
That's
But look,
not very nice, is it?
I'm also a closet scientist. I'm looking at the 4 cans in front of me. One of them's bigger, and that one's had the most liquid in it.
The biggest has, so probably less liquid. No, that's. Well, if that's actual Guinness, it's nothing like Guinness Zero. And the first one we had was much more
That's very-
expensive. That's just not unpleasant. That is.
I thought this was going to be easier than it was, to be honest with you.
Yes.
So you would describe this as unpleasant.
It's a bit The aftertaste.
There's definitely chocolate in that.
It's very chocolate.
You can 100% taste the chocolate in that. Which leads me. I'm going to stick with the first one was original Guinness. The second one was Zero, and I'm going to say that's the Brewdog. You've drank the Brewdog, dude. Do you not think it's that one?
I don't know. I'm going to blame that other Guinness Zero.
So Dave dislikes that pretty much as much as you dislike the 0%.
Yeah, clearly.
That would be. I mean, that would be. Getting close to. I'm not finishing that. It doesn't matter.
It's not that bad.
Mm.
To me. So what is it? Brewdog. What's the other one? Can't see
Forge is the other one, which is the basically the Conor McGregor stout.
Well, I'm going to go. That's him then because it's rough.
It's a pretty smooth pie, is the Forged. I always think. I think it's very close to Guinness.
You thought the first one, didn't you?
I think the third. Yeah, it might have been Forged. Yeah, and your daughter, Gaz, Amy says chocolate and beer just isn't right.
Chocolate beer is great.
I tell you what, yeah.
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
No, but
enjoy London.
I don't know, dude. I'm on the fence for this one.
No, I'm Guinness one, the 0 second, and I think that's Brewdog.
It's nice.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I could easily. Yeah, I could drink that happily.
Mm.
So who's Forge? Is Forge from a brewery or is a brewery?
Forge. So Conor McGregor bought a pub in Cromlin in Dublin, I believe is the area where he's from, called the Black Forge Inn. And rather than serving Guinness in there, he made his own stout, which he called Forged. And it was very, very popular, very successful. And people said, you should market that worldwide. So it is going worldwide. And it is getting a lot of plaudits. So going back to that Guinness group, going back to the Guinness community group, which for a long, long time was tits and beer. Yeah.
Yep.
So there's a fella joined that group, was permitted to join, a fella by the name of Conor McGregor. So rather than sharing pints of Guinness in front of the ladies' bits, he started sharing pictures of Forged beer on there, his own beer on there. And obviously, the second he did that, what everybody who's a big Conor McGregor fan did was basically share a picture of Forged instead of Guinness, and he would comment on it. So as soon as he started commenting and resharing these, people went mental. People went mental, were sharing pictures of it. Fantastic bit of marketing against Guinness. Yeah, very, very clever bit of marketing.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people that will say, get that muck off his page. This is a Guinness only page. You take it very seriously. Some people do.
Yeah.
You don't mind the tits.
But he's not okay, whether you obviously I've never met him, so can't really comment on what he's like as a person, but whether you dislike him, you have to admit that he's for business acumen, or he appears as though, and I don't quite know how profitable his distilleries are and his breweries are and stuff, but in terms of perhaps potentially spotting a niche or spotting a market and then just saying, you know what, we'll just do it.
Yeah.
He's obviously pretty proactive in that.
His Proper 12, he sold his stake in it.
Right.
For 600 million.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
done all right at that.
Proper 12.
That was the whiskey
the
we were
whiskey.
drinking when Steve was on. Yeah, so he sold his stake in that for 600 million. So I would say as a businessman, fairly astute. He's done okay.
Yeah, he's done okay. And as a fighter, he's done all right as well. So.
Yeah.
But as a brewer, he's crap.
Well, first of all, we don't think this is his, or do we?
I don't. And I don't think it's Guinness. And I don't think it's Forged. So I definitely think that's the Brewdog.
Mm.
It's a while since I tasted Forged. However, no, I don't care.
So Dave's going Forged.
Yeah, I've got to go Forged anyway to be different.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're all going to get something the same.
I'm going Brewdog.
Yeah.
I'm going Spewy. Yeah.
Me too. Which is the no-brainer for the next one, which obviously would be then Mr. McGregor's as such. But we might be wrong.
We might be wrong. So here's the thing then. So when you talk about those figures, you can understand now why Brewdog and why Forged go up against Guinness for a share of that market. If they can take, just a tenth of that away in the UK, this is going to make it a fairly successful beer, I'd suggest.
Oh, I'd suggest, if you were able to take just 1% of that, you take 1% of their 11% or whatever, I still find that incredible. 1 in 10.
Here's an interesting one. Where's the third biggest Guinness market? Obviously, as a percentage, we're talking here. And so it could be an incredibly small company. It could be one guy just drinking who just drinks it. But so obviously,
one guy in the Vatican City drinking.
Yeah, the Pope. God bless you all. So
Right faith.
Yeah, it was the right faith. God bless them. Yeah. So Ireland being the number 1 market, the rest of the UK being number 2. Where do you reckon is number 3?
Oh God.
Are you classing the whole of Ireland as Ireland?
No, but I would include
Including
Northern
the
Ireland.
UK.
Yeah, I'd include
Yeah,
Northern
okay,
Ireland.
all right.
Let's not bring politics into this episode as well.
Okay. I am going to say.
Interesting.
Well, no, I'll say America.
America is Guinness is very popular in America. Nigeria.
Oh, really?
Nigeria. So if you ever see the foreign extra stout, it's produced in Nigeria and it's hugely, hugely popular over there.
Wow.
I don't know why.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. I was trying to think of where had sort of, Irish imports. Obviously, in America, they had like loads of sort of Irish go over there. And I was sort of trying to think, was there anywhere in Africa? And clearly at some point, some went over and,
I know that
very successful.
There are a number of countries in Africa where Guinness is produced. Yeah, it's not just Nigeria. I think there's 5 factories. There's a number of, I think there's about 17 breweries, 5 factories. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is, but like outside of the Europe, Nigeria is the only place that has a Guinness factory. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is.
Right. No, yeah.
Couldn't find any strong definition.
No. It's just interesting that like why, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you think what they've done? Do you think is it effectively is it derivative of or a franchise, I suppose, of Guinness, or have they made their own beer to taste like Guinness, and therefore people started drinking that and thought, oh, it's like Guinness, and therefore just drink Guinness? Or is it a Guinness derivative?
The foreign extra stout is like 7.5%, so it's a much stronger beer.
Right.
So it's a different beer. I think it's got a more treacly taste. I'd like to think
you could taste the difference.
Yeah, but then again,
yeah,
I was pretty confident I'd know. At this point now, there's only one of those I'm confident on that we've tasted. That was the second one.
The second one.
Yeah, that's the only one I would say I was confident on. I believe this might be the Brew Dog.
I'm confident that isn't Guinness. We know it's not the Zero, and I'm confident that's not Guinness.
It's got that ruby colouring.
Confident that's not Guinness.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell like Guinness.
Mm.
There's definitely chocolate. There's too much chocolate in that.
Yeah, there's a lot of cocoa nibs in it.
Too much head on it.
Mm.
So I'm pretty confident that that's Brew Dog.
Yeah. So how long has Guinness been putting nitrogen in their beer, do you think, to make it a creamy pint?
Since 1991.
No, slightly before then, but not far. Yeah, it's just the dawn of the internet.
The dawn of the widget.
Yeah.
78.
59.
What was it? 59?
Yeah, it's just 59 I've been using nitrogen then to make it creamy, which is interesting.
To make it so, I suppose it makes you wonder what it looked like before that.
Yeah.
So nothing with the head on it, I suspect. Or very little.
Without knowing, I would imagine the difference between Guinness and Guinness Original, which is the other can you can buy, is likely to
be that.
Yeah. The difference
and would it be? Oh no, what was it like? Mackerson? Did they do a stout?
Mac in black.
Yeah,
Mackie and black.
Yeah. So they probably did have a little bit of a head on it, but perhaps not quite the one that we wouldn't know now as Guinness.
No. Yeah.
So there is a drink called Guinness Original, which is basically Guinness without the widget.
Yeah, it often comes in a bottle, that one, but it does come in a can as well. It doesn't. I believe it doesn't have the widget in it.
Yeah, I remember like going back donkey's years, and I remember buying the can and then pouring it, and it didn't look like Guinness. And then I looked at it, it says Guinness Original on it, sort of thing, and it was a different drink, effectively. Well, it's done by Guinness, obviously, but it was a completely different drink, different head, slightly different taste.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting. But here's what, do you know what's more interesting? Guinness, what else are they famous for? No, they do. The harp is obviously normally on the Guinness there, and they also make the lager harp. But what else is Guinness very well known for?
Book of Records.
Oh.
Bingo. Guinness Book of Records, page 241, 2019 edition. It's been a while since we mentioned it. Yes, you look up there, you'll see mine and Gaz's name. If you check, I'll say it again. Page 241, the 2019 edition of the Guinness Book of World Records. So how did that Guinness Book of Records come into, not that one specifically, why did the Guinness Book of Records come into be, allegedly?
Is it anything to do with Guinness to drink?
Yes.
Most beers drank in a month by somebody.
No, it was Andre the Giant. We'll talk about his drinking records in a little bit. But no, it was basically to settle an argument in a Guinness pub about two people arguing about which was the best of this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's how it came to be.
Okay.
Did you want to tell our listeners about Kev Thackwell?
Yeah, Kev Thackwell. Wow. Good old peg man. So Kev was a guy who he was somebody that we knew that possibly was the first guy that I knew was in the Guinness Book of Records, and he was famous for putting pegs on his face. I don't know what the number was. Was it not like, I don't know, I'm going to make this something like 70 pegs or something stupid, and he had them literally like over his eye here and all here, and literally he was known as Peg Man, and he was in the Guinness Book of Records. I don't know if he still is. I don't know if he still holds it.
No, it's been beaten since Brown American. However, though, the most exciting thing about that is there's an episode of The Simpsons where Homer opens up the Guinness Book of Records and he's got basically two eyes with a load of pegs sticking out. And it says on the bottom, Kevin Thackwell. And he still gets royalties for every time that episode is shown wherever in the world. It gets like pennies per episode. But that's mint, isn't it? If only they could do that to us. You know, the other two Guinness World Record holders. Oh, so three, including Sid from All Sager.
Yeah, it's a shame. And actually, of the two records that we did hold, we currently only hold one. So the original one where we threw darts for 49 hours, 43 hours,
49 and
a half hours. Yeah, God, it felt like longer than that. 49 and a half hours, whatever it was. And there were four of us that sort of had that record, and that has now subsequently been beaten. I think it's a team in Aberdeen, I think.
Yeah, Aberdeen, yeah.
And they've subsequently beaten us. And I did say to Ad at some point we would try to reclaim that, but I don't think he's having any of it. And
no, I'm not.
He's probably shaking his head.
Yeah. It's only just over.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Did they make 50?
They made just over 50. Their goal was to do 60, and they decided not to.
Yeah.
So they only beat us by a little bit. But the thought of doing that one again, nah.
You're not into that?
Nah. No, I can't.
You see, because obviously the other one that we hold is the most doubles hit on a dartboard in a 24-hour period. And there was a team of 8 of us, and the stipulation there was that as long as play was continuous, it couldn't be one person throwing all the time. But as long as it was continuous, basically people could dib out, dib in, and basically just went round. And it was, and because the record didn't exist before we attempted it, the Guinness Book of Records wrote to us and said, right, we're going to give you a target then. We think that it's this number. And we basically pissed all over that, and we did that like relatively quickly. So and I can't remember exactly what we set the record at. And it's still, as far as I'm aware, it's still a record. And what we did say was that if we did the next one, we would do most trebles hit in a 24-hour period. Because we looked at the one, there was one for the bullseye. And that was ridiculous, by the way. So the bullseye record is just stupid. It was set by a team that involved a couple of PDC players, a couple of county youth players and stuff. And it was just, there's just no way we were ever going to break that. So we sort of had a look and thought, well, what can we do? And it was when, was it Double Trouble? So was that the one we did with Double Trouble?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And they said, well, if you're going to do doubles, we'll jump on board and this, that, and the other. And that was that the one with Dart? Was that Dartwolf?
That was Dartwolf,
God bless him.
Yeah.
Or her. But it's him.
It's definitely him.
It's definitely him, yeah. And that was what the Dartwolf got involved with. And we raised thousands of pounds for charity. You got quite a good interview. Was it? Did you go to the?
Yeah,
Alder Hay. No,
Great Ormond Street.
Great Ormond Street. That was it. Yeah.
I sat on there like with the the curator or whoever runs the place. Yeah, I was expecting it just to be some randomer, and it's like sat there in his t-shirt. Oh, hang on, be it.
Another beer run.
Here we go. Here we go.
There we go.
That's Dave's, probably.
There you go.
Right. Here we go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Your duties have been dispensed with. You may continue your evening unhindered. My evening may not be unhindered after this comments. That's Guinness. Zero.
I think that's.
Oh, we have the results.
Mm.
That's got a quite tinny taste, right?
That might be Guinness.
I think this is Guinness.
That might be Guinness, which means that the first one was the forged.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
that'll make my poo black in the morning.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because you did say that forged was quite similar to Guinness.
Yeah.
Yeah, this doesn't have that first one we had a much stronger kick at the end. This doesn't. This is
Yeah.
Guinness Zero.
It's certainly, at the risk of offending the barmaid, the best poured of the four. When you look at how it's poured, I think
Guinness.
Yeah, I think that's Guinness.
Well, just to be different, then I'll say that that's the forged one.
Yeah.
Because I said the first one was Guinness, but I'm now possibly leaning towards it not be.
Forged as in like counterfeit.
No, it's forged in steel.
So that's
Oh, excuse me.
All these are very similar colours, aren't they? Black and gold.
There's a theme. They've not deviated too much, have they? Dave?
I'm not sure now.
Yeah, this is the least flavour of them all, bar the Guinness Zero. So, yeah, I'm going to change. I'm going to go. This is the Guinness,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore the first one we had, I'm going to say, is whatever one was left, forged.
Yeah.
Well, the one that will be left will be Brew Dogs. You said the last one was forged.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. It's a while ago.
Fair enough. So we've taste tested them. We're going to have a look in a little second at what the results are. But which is the one you've enjoyed the most, just out of interest?
I would say the first one or the last one.
Yeah, I would probably say this one.
You think that one?
No, the first one, actually.
You think the first one?
The second one is, look, we're 100% convinced the second one is the Zero. So
yeah,
I think the third one I think was a Brewdog. I think was definitely not Guinness. It didn't taste like it. It's a while since I tasted the Forge, so therefore.
The first one had that really nice taste at the end, the back of it.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Well, although at the time I did think it was Zero, so I can't be too committal on that one. It wasn't too bad compared to the other stuff I tried since. But for me, I'm going to go with the one that we thought was the Spewy was my favourite. That last one.
The horrible.
This one.
No, the previous one. Yeah,
so
previous one.
one.
Sorry, yeah.
I think it's almost too rich a flavour for me. It's almost too chocolatey. I'm just not. Oh, now I'll stick with what I went originally, and I went Guinness first, Zero second, and then this is your fourth.
Well, I'm wrong. I can tell you that from my answers.
You are.
Yeah. So the first one I said was Forged.
Yeah.
Dave said was the Black Heart. Gaz says was Guinness. Yeah. The first one was the Black Heart.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I didn't enjoy that much.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. So the Brewdog you thought that was the best, had the nicest aftertaste.
Yeah, it did. The back end of it was nice.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Dave loves the taste of the back end of things. Good to know that. The next one.
Keep your little finger to yourself.
Well, you should be so lucky. But the second one, then we were all right on that one. The second one was the Guinness Zero.
Yeah.
And I think you could tell it was thin.
Yeah.
Tasted like paint stripper. It was awful.
Not taste like
No, it didn't taste like paint stripper. No, paint stripper's
it's just not got
far
a lot of
more
depth,
enjoyable
is
to
it?
drink.
It's quite nice to drink. It's just not got a lot of depth.
It was fucking terrible. Let's just call it what it was. The third one there, the third one, okay, which I said was my favourite.
Yeah.
You were less keen on.
I thought that was the Brewdog, but
Yeah, I thought it was the Brewdog. That was the Forge, so Dave was right on that one.
Yeah, disgusting stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dave,
okay.
not a fan of that one. That's interesting.
Well, that means if I've got 3 out of 3, I'm doing all right, you know.
Well, it means you got 4 out of 4 because it means by yeah, you got all 4 of them right, dude.
Yeah, you go and add it in the drink. Not bad, eh?
Oh, what do you make of that, eh?
So that one was. So that one was the third one. Did we say? No, did you say that was the third?
That was the third one, yeah.
That was the
I
third
thought
one.
was my favourite, yeah.
So that was the one that I felt was very, very chocolatey.
Yeah.
Didn't like it at all.
That was very, very chocolatey.
But they're quite. I mean, if you forget the zero alcohol for the moment, because we don't really know if they've deliberately made it taste different.
I can't see it myself. I know what you're saying. I think they would have it similar, but not the same if that was feasible. I think taking the alcohol out is what's impacted the flavour of it. I don't think they would intentionally stick a beer out there that's that significantly different. I think people would want to enjoy it. There's the people who are going to want. Actually, I'm not driving. I'm not that health conscious. I am going to just have a beer with alcohol in it. I don't think there's a need for it to taste as bad as that tasted.
So that last one, that's the Guinness.
This is Guinness, yeah.
You see, it's just the first one. Then I wasn't sure then.
But it's the aside from the Guinness Zero, the other 3 are actually very different, aren't they? And I've not really drank stouts at all until I drank Guinness Zero. But in my mind, I think I just assumed that stouts was a stout and that was a flavour rather than a type. I don't know why I think that.
Yeah.
An IPA isn't just a flavour.
No. They could be significantly different.
It could be, absolutely. It's interesting because I always associated the Brewdog with having much more of a chocolatey flavour, whereas actually it's the Forge, and it's the forged one that. Sorry, guys. That expletive was our resident host. Nick had all over himself.
So we didn't have an assistant who managed to pour 12 beers successfully, and Adam's gone for 1 and got it all over the floor.
Yeah, I apologize.
So I think my summary is that I quite like Guinness. The Zero isn't bad, but isn't Guinness as such. So if you're having a Zero, it's actually not that bad. And actually, the Black Heart I could actually drink because that was one I thought at the start was Guinness, and I quite like that. So yeah, I think in hindsight, then like I said, the Forge one was a very, very chocolatey one. It too much flavour for me.
So if you walked into a bar and all 4, let's say all 3, say you weren't driving. Well, no, let's say all 4. You walked into a bar, all 4, and you weren't driving. Which one would you go for?
I would go for Guinness, but if they said, "Oh, sorry, the Guinness is off," then actually the Black Heart one was.
Is that down to the marketing of the product? Do you think it's the original one made since
Possibly.
the 1700s?
Possibly, but again, I didn't think actually on reflection now that I know which is which that there was significantly different between the Brewdog and the Guinness. The other 2 I would probably dismiss. I think if the Forged was on there and someone said, "Oh, have this," I'd be like, "Have they got normal Guinness?" No. Oh, okay, I'll have it. And I know I would enjoy it and it's nice, but I think the other 2 would be the one.
Like you, Adam?
Well, I'm going to have to go with the one I said was the best, and that's the Forged. If you'd asked me to pick at the start of the evening, the one I thought I enjoyed the most, that was the Brewdog. Yeah, I've had it in the past. It really is sort of
like Guinness.
Yeah, like Guinness, but with more sort of chocolatey taste, more coffee taste.
But do you not think that the Forged is then more chocolatey though? Because I definitely think that's the more chocolatey one out of them all.
Yeah, I do.
And I just got them the wrong way around.
Yeah, I think you could be right, dude. Oh fucking hell! Oh, it's gone everywhere.
I'm like potty mouth.
I tell you what, dude.
Just never ever become a barman.
I've done 1 shift as a barman. They all say your arms.
Is that the pub they knocked down?
It is, yeah. I was never come back.
That wasn't the reason, by the way, folks.
Wow, you never know.
I'm actually not quite sure what he's pouring.
These are the Gonsters.
Apparently, it's a Gonster. If people know what that is.
Something to do with the Guinness pie.
No, go on, Dave. I'll give you that
Yeah,
one.
no, it's
That's the worst one I poured, so Dave can have that because he's not going to drink. No, because he's not going to drink very much of it. And I'm not just being rude.
that's the shit you want. You get.
So this is also from that Guinness group that as well that causes much irony, and that is the Gonster. So the old black and tans, which to be fair, apparently in some parts of Ireland you shouldn't be using that expression. It is offensive. Black and tan coming from the colour of some of the soldiers that fought in some of the wars, so you can understand why perhaps it's called offensive. However, when you look at the drink, which is sort of a black and tan colour like that, this is the Gonster. So it is half Guinness, half Monster. Now, normally when this gets shared on the group, there's a lot of people being very cynical about it. However, there's a number of people actually say, as a drink, not too bad. Dave, I didn't put yours very well. Yours is mainly mixed. I apologize.
Yours seems to be separating quite nicely.
Yeah, yeah. I did a bit. Yeah, Gaz's isn't too bad. Mine separated the best. There's the first one I did, though. It was the first one I did, so I think it's the creamier part.
Got the most widgeted.
Yeah, my widget worked best on that one.
And what's the point of this drink? Because it's basically an energy drink in Guinness. So
Yeah.
you're taking a really sweet, sickly, disgusting drink and putting it into
Put it in, put it in a can of Monster.
Hey, so what's the point of it? Where's it come from?
I don't know. It's
It just
idiot.
tastes like Monster,
Idiot
doesn't
on
it?
the internet, yeah.
You can't really taste the Guinness in it.
Can't smell the Guinness in it.
No. It's smoother than a can of Monster normally is.
Oh, well, I don't really drink Monsters.
So in terms of a cocktail, what do you make of that?
It does just taste like Red Bull.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. I don't know if that's good or a bad thing.
Yeah, it's just Monster for me. I can't really taste the Guinness in
Maybe
that.
you need to put more Guinness in it.
Have some more Guinness if you want.
No, I don't. But maybe Gaz does.
Where's that can?
There's plenty left in it.
I don't think you put enough Guinness in
If
it.
I can wring out of my shorts, because I tipped a lot of it over my shorts as well.
I think you went sort of, only a quarter Guinness at that.
Yeah.
It's going to be totally different now, Gaz. You're going to love it.
Yeah. Look at that. What do you make?
It's just Monster.
Yeah,
I don't dislike the drink. It's not awful. As you said, Dave, it's just a cheap substitute to Red Bull, isn't it?
It's a nice
Really,
little
it's just
aperitif at the end of the evening.
Well, you say that. Yeah. You've done better aperitifs.
I have. So, I mean, we're bringing this episode to a close now.
We're over an hour.
I know, yeah, around about an hour mark, yeah. So, what we can say is Guinness Zero. Some people like it, others don't. What we can say about the Guinness was, yeah, it was all right, but I think we both thought there were better stouts available. And Dave, you thought as well. You said you said there was the original was the Brewdog that you thought was the better one.
Yeah, it's got a nice aftertaste.
Yeah, one thing I would recommend though is don't mix it with Monster.
No, it's not great. I think, yeah, the chocolatey overtones of the Forge for me was too heavy.
Mm.
So I on reflection, the Brewdog one was decent, and obviously the original one is decent. What's just when we haven't tried it because possibly haven't got the facilities to do so. But what about the extra cold Guinness that you get? Where do you stand on the extra cold?
If I see that available, I tend to lean towards extra cold.
Yeah, I'm the same. If they have an extra cold, I will drink that. If they have like an extra cold and an original, you go extra cold. I think if they just have the original, then fair enough. But I think given the choice, I probably would lean towards the extra cold.
Yeah, I tell you what though, I know that, and I understand now why perhaps people think it is as bad for you as it is. I feel full. I feel horribly, horribly full. I feel like that beer is all just sitting in my belly. I'm much used to drinking. Like if I drink a stout, it's normally about 11, 12%, and I'll sip it quietly because you can't be necking them like we just net those in 15 minutes. You're in a world of trouble.
Had 3 pints in like less than an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have a gin and tonic now just to take the taste away. So there you go. There's your conclusion, folks. If you like a pint of Guinness, have a gin and tonic. It's much better. So next week we are back. We are joined by Stephen and his wife Lindsay, and we are looking at an agile lifestyle. So we will be bemused and befuddled again. But sum this one up for us before we finish. Dave, make some sense of it all.
Well, first of all, folks, drink responsibly. We only drink this quick because we're doing tasting sessions, and not me, them. But yeah, drink sensibly. And look, there's a lot of variety out there. Guinness Zero, give your non-alcohols a try. Mix it up with your normal drinking, but try other things. If you've always drunk Guinness, don't just stick to it, because other things you never know, you might just like it.
Indeed, Gather.
Well, yeah, absolutely fair point. There'll be lots of people out there that have only ever drunk Guinness just because that's just what they drink, and if they drink stout, they drink Guinness. And I think we've proven tonight that there's a couple of different varieties out there. Some that are a little different, some that taste pretty much the same as the original. So yeah, I just echo what Dave said. Really, just don't be afraid to experiment. And look, ultimately, if you try something and you don't really like it, then you can always just go back to the original one.
Yeah, indeed. I think it's always good to try new things, and I think I personally, I've been surprised by some of the stuff that I've tasted. I've been surprised just how bad Guinness Zero is, but I've also been surprised by the beer that I thought I would enjoy the most. Yeah, I didn't. I actually preferred the Forged. But are we using our own perceptions and thinking that's that or not?
Well, I didn't know.
No,
I didn't know, and I
was wrong.
thought that the chocolatey one was the Brewdog one, and it wasn't. It was the Forged one. And actually, on reflection, that's probably the one that was too strong for me. So that's what I'll stay clear of. But definitely the Brewdog. If you are a Guinness drinker out there, guys, then the Brewdog one is definitely a decent alternative.
There you go, folks. There is your conclusion, and that just leaves me to say, never go swimming with bow-legged women.